similarities from the way you guys started the training camp last year to what you guys are doing now?
Last year's training camp was such a blur. The first year for all of us, especially besides the guys that was already here. So, I guess the similarities is the guys that came back from last year, the coaching staff. But as far as that, we're kind of a totally different team. We're going in a totally different direction at this point than we were last year training camp.
LeBron, you mentioned the other day that yourself for 3 days. The obvious point there is to get in shape for this, but can you take us a little deeper into why you go 3 days and maybe how that helps you, if not now, in January or February?
It's just about getting my body geared towards the season. I've always liked to stay in shape, even in the off season. And this September, I want to even be a little bit more in shape to see how my body would come into camp. I feel pretty good. Great. Those feeling great days are kind of over, but I feel great, as good as I can coming into training camp. So. Just pushing the envelope for myself. I always want to try to push the envelope, see what I can do.
Hey, Brian, from a mental standpoint, are you fresher than you were last year? I mean, you had a lot coming at you, coming back here, adjusting, etc. Is there any change from where you were a year ago?
I mean, fresher. I don't think I had. Coming home last year wasn't that much. To me, for reasons that I was very comfortable. My family was comfortable, and obviously it was another adjustment for myself. But I didn't put too much on my plate last year, and I haven't put too much on my plate this year. I'm gonna understand what we have here and what's our goals.
With that rehab period in January, you can reconsider how you're going to manage your body
well, absolutely. I've always tried to manage my body, and like I said, I'm a hard head at times, but I gotta do a better job of understanding how many minutes I've played, how many miles I've logged, things of that nature over my career, and I want to be there when it counts most, and so I got to be very smart about it. I think our coaching staff and our training staff will also be smart about it as well, and we have a game plan going into the season.
I mean, your minutes have already been a big topic of discussion, especially last year. You didn't play your high games. So will you take that into consideration this year as well, that perhaps sitting more games helps you in the playoffs?
Well, I just happened that way last year. I don't think it's something I would look to do every year. I don't like sitting those games out, but I went through a course last year where I had to physically, mentally for those 2 weeks I sat out. So those are the majority of the games. I think it was 8 or 9 games throughout that 2-week process. So I don't like sitting out games. I'm not a big fan of it. I like being on the floor. But we'll see what happens.
What do you attribute the variability to in your career? Is it your training, or is it just kind of just the way you're built?
Nah, I mean, it's definitely not the way I'm built. Because that guy should have broke down a long time ago. But I think it's the way I just manage my body. I take care of my body every single day. And, I know what my body can hold and what it can't hold. So, it's definitely a tribute to, my all-season training as well. Taking care of my body throughout the course of the season, off days and after practice days and, every day all around the clock. So, definitely I've been gifted with a lot of things, but I definitely have to put in the work as well.
Going through 4 postseason rounds, the guys who did go through that experience last spring, where's that going to show up with this year's team?
I mean, you don't know. You hope that we gain experience from that. But you only can take us so far. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a new year. It's a new challenge. We can learn, one thing the guys have some playoff experience in their belt, and they can definitely use that, going into this season. But we have to get to that point. You can't just guarantee ourselves a position in the postseason. We got to work for it.
For the first of what will be many updates on your various injured body parts, how are your knees and back? That's what we're finding last year.
I mean, they feel pretty good. I believe as I continue to get in more shape, like all of us, the rest of us, throughout training camp and throughout the regular season, it will continue to get better like it did last year. So, we want to stay on top of it.
Shifting from sports a little bit, as you know, Baby was shot and killed on the east side yesterday. And I'm just interested in
When you found out that news, and what made you speak out about it on social media?
Well, it's the quickest way to get my voice out there, first of all, social media. And obviously, I mean, it's not the first time that it's happened, but it's been happening a little bit too much recently. I think in the last 4 weeks, 4 kids under the age of 5 or 6 years old have been shot, killed, or whatever, very badly injured in this. There's no room for that. There's no room for guns, first of all. But then for violence towards kids or whatever, or anybody, but having kids of your own, I see the news go across my phone and I'm sitting in front of my 3 kids, so it automatically just hit me. So I'll just get my voice out there and let people know, it's not just in Cleveland, it's all over, if you see my message, but also hashtag the nation as well. It's our whole nation that goes through this as well. We all hurt from it.
Yesterday, pretty much right at the same time we were doing that, the president was talking about the shooting in Oregon, and was talking about this is an issue we should politicize, we need to change things. That's talking more about gun control. You said it's been happening too much and there's no place for guns. Do you agree with what the president's saying?
Well, I did not get an opportunity to actually watch the president speak, so I can't comment on what he spoke about or what he said. I didn't get an opportunity. I know what I see. I know how I feel. Obviously, you're not going to be able to take every gun out. I don't know how you can do that. There's so many around now today. But if there's some stipulations behind it, or some some penalties, some big time penalties, or rules and regulations about carrying firearms, legal or illegal, people will second guess themselves.
But it's just hard in general just to hear the innocents get hurt by something like that.
Yeah.
Is there something you've either done with your foundation or you'd like to do regarding this crisis or whatever you want to call it?
Maybe. I'm using my voice right now through social media, and as I always do, when something goes on that I feel like is important, I will speak upon it. My foundation is we're focused on something right now. We don't want to kind of veer off on that. Obviously, you guys know the education program that we're going through right now. That's part of the education program that we're doing is keeping those kids off the street and keeping, their situations that may be bad, trying to turn them into good. So I think what we're doing is controlling some of the violence. Some of these kids may be in violent situations, violent areas, or violent homes, and we're trying to keep them away from that by having that program that we have set up through my foundation, through the University of Akron, through the Akron Public School systems, and so on and so on. So, I feel like if we can do our part, with my foundation and what we do, then it can, possibly bring the number of percentages, down from, 20% to 15 to 10. Hopefully we continue to do it.